I would buy these Yu-Gi-Oh cards before the ban list hits. I personally think that there are some really good Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are worth investing into. Obviously, everything comes with a risk, but I think the risk is way worth it when you consider the rewards. In today's video, I'll be talking about those particular cards and everything you need to know about them. Let's go ahead and jump on in. So guys, right now, you already know we are getting very close to ban list season. Basically, where the Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden List can drop at any given time. And normally when that happens, you gotta take advantage of some Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. There are some cards that I think personally will go up in price almost regardless. And then there are some risks that you can take depending on if you want these cards just in case they come off the ban list, or if you are going to be prepared to wait. Of course, as usual, I got chat with me to help me out on some cards. And if you guys have some cards that you think will go up in price, let us know down below in the comment section. You can always catch us on stream so we can talk about it there. I also want to mention one more thing, that my Patreon just so happens to have gotten all this information as a special thank you. I'll be paying my editors a little early. Now let's really jump on it. Yugioh Fusion monster going up. You know what's crazy? We actually told you guys to buy the Yugioh monsters before they went up in price. Okay, hear me out, Cali. Dryden is coming off the ban list and Terratop is going to be unlimited. Get those cards. Bro, we literally just started the video, but I think he's somewhat right. Speedroid Terratop just recently came from limited to semi-limited off the forbidden list. This card is only going to go to 3, and the main reason is because nobody is paying attention to it. Konami often does things what I like to call a natural progression. Sometimes they like to test the waters at a particular card if it's going to be really impactful as semi-limited, and then in the following forbidden list, they take the card completely off. So if you are looking to be able to get Speedroid Terratops in Ultimate Rare, this is probably going to be one of your last chances to be able to do so. Once the card goes to 3, there's going to be more people wanting this card, meaning that the card will go up in price. Also, because Konami does want to support its newer strategies in Goblin Biker, this is probably going to be a card that's really important to them later on down the line. I actually think that this is one of the few times where chat got something completely right. Buying the Terratop's a good idea. Dryden, you're slightly coping. It's not like Dryden can't come off the list. It's simply because Dryden will have almost absolutely no impact on the Yu-Gi-Oh meta if it does come off the list. This is one of those cards that'll be fake prices. It'll go up in price for a little bit once the card comes off the list, but then as time goes on, people will start to realize that it's not really worth it. Buy your Miskies coming to 3? Yeah, nah, you're going crazy. What about Magispector Kirin? Don't waste your money. Some things like Magispector Kirin and Meow Meow Mew may seem nice, but I promise you, those are going to be cards that may spike up for a little bit, but over time, people will start to realize that they're a little bit power crept and price will go down. What about Masterpiece? Look, I could tell you to buy every single thing off the ban list, but to be honest, let's just be real, guys. The odds of a particular card coming off the ban list in correlation with its reprint value, look, you can buy everything off the ban list and you won't miss, but you'll be spending a lot of money. I'm going to be giving you realistic expectations. You might get surprised, but overall, I think you'll be good. With that being said, didn't Dragonic Diagram just get a reprint? If I were a betting man and to make a prediction list, Dragonic Diagram is coming off the list in some capacity. Konami just doesn't randomly reprint cards without doing something to them in the near future. And that would actually make people point back to Battles of Legends Chapter 1, which is historically just a trash Yu-Gi-Oh set. It's very smart by them. Masterpiece to 1, I still think you guys are coping there. But a card that I actually think is ridiculously good that not a lot of people are paying attention to is Ignic Master Packbit. Now, Ignic Master Packbit is a level 8 Cyber Synchro monster that says if this card is synchro summoned or sent to the graveyard, you can target a monster in your graveyard or one face-up monster your opponent controls. Discard one card, and if you do, place that monster in its owner's spell and trap card as a face-up continuous trap card. During either player's turn, if this card is a continuous trap, you can special summon one face-up monster from your spell and trap card zone. And then, of course, you can only use each effect of Ignic Master Packbit once per turn. This card's really good. Packbit does have some unique properties here. There are so many monsters that are being treated as spells and traps now You really have to decipher between the two, whether they're equipped spells, or traps. Keep in mind, if they're being treated as a trap card, you can't use cards that would special summon them as spell cards to your side of the field. What I want you to think is the Snake Eyes cards. But what Packbit does do is that it can still put monsters in the spell and trap card zone and special summon them themselves. On top of that, Packbit is a generic Synchro 8 monster with a really good effect. It can either get rid of cards your opponent controls or put monsters in your graveyard for later summoning. Packbit is actually really good for decks like Centurion, which just so happened to get support in the next set, Legacy of Destruction. This card will see a little bit of a surge in price strictly off of that, and right now it's only $1, so what really do you have to lose? It's a walking subversion. Yeah, it is. Not everybody can have access to the Diabellstar Snake Eyes engine, but for $1, we can synchro summon into it. It's cool that it doesn't work on Flame Urge, plays around the Flame Urge and spell card. Yes, if you put in your opponent's card as a trap card, they can't summon it back. Ending Master Packbait has so much potential for the future. But a card that has the potential for the right now, a card that you should probably get before the Forbidden List drops, is Max Rarity Orcus cards. Come on, guys. I'm already going to be telling you to get Max Rarity Orcus cards because there is a possibility, though how small it is, that Orcus Harp Horror does come off the list. And if that does happen, super rare copies of Orcus Harp Horror, ultimate rare copies of Dingirsu, and Galtea will shoot to the moon. Orcus is kind of cope. I'll hear you out. Please hear me out. It's not that I think that Orcus is an amazing deck with Harp Horror at 3 inside of the TCG. It's going to be 2 compounding issues that will make Orcus incredibly desirable. Technically 3. The first is that Orcus will be at full power in the TCG. That will immediately make people want to get Orcus more. But the more important thing is that Orcus is at full power in 2019 format. TOS format is regarded as one of the most respected and well-liked formats in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! I told my buddy Top Deck TJ about this information and he immediately went to TCG Player. He saw Dingirsus at their lowest price, $30. Galtea, their lowest price. I think they were about $50. Easily, if TOS format becomes as popular as Edison or Tengu Plant format, these prices will not stay long for long, especially when players realize that not only can they play the deck in TOS format, they can also play the deck in modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! Picks these cards up right now. You could also say the same thing for cards like Sky Striker, the OG Solomon Great cards, and Thunder Dragons. While I don't believe that Thunder Dragon Colossus is ever coming off the ban list anytime soon, if Konami just so happens to make the mistake, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I'm telling you, you're gonna be crazy. Thunder Dragon Colossus has a cult following behind them. And for proof, everybody that wants Colossus off the ban list, tell me you want Colossus off the ban list. I want Colossus out. I want Colossus. For some reason, there is a following of people that want this toxic Yu-Gi-Oh card off the list. I promise you, it'll be all in the comment section. They're gonna talk about it. They're gonna rise up for their Thunder Colo boy. Daddy Underworld is the best. Get me out of here. I swear every single time. Thunder Dragon Colossus does nothing. It's a perfectly fair and balanced Yu-Gi-Oh card. All you have to do is play the outs. Yeah, it actually solves the meta problem. I think those cards are amazing pickups, but if you're trying to look for something that will be good for the future, there's a card that I think is incredibly busted that not too many people are paying attention to. Its name is EMP Meow Mine. Now, when you first read this card, you may not think too much of it. But then when you sit down and you actually read the card, it's crazy. EMP Meow Mine can be special summoned by having a Link monster on the field or in either graveyard. From there, if a Link 2 monster leaves the field, it can banish itself to get rid of a card on the field. Ironically, EMP Meow Mine triggers when you activate the effects of IP Masquerena or SP Little Knight to be able to get rid of an additional card, but also can be used in response to when your opponent uses SP Little Knight or IP Masquerena to get rid of an opponent's card. Meow Mine is actually one of the craziest underrated cards in the entirety of Phantom Nightmare, and right now, as of making this video, it's only $2.50. I would pick up the Meow Mines before they're too late. They just seem like really powerful cards, and personally, I've been looking everywhere for as many copies because after reading the card, I realized it's really, really good. Tidal is the only Dragon Ruler that is still banned. So I'm at an impasse with Tidal. I think Title is just like Zodiac Dryden. If it does come off the list, it will see a spike, but then it'll go back down in price. Like, Title's just not a good Yu-Gi-Oh card. I didn't even know that Redox was off the list. That's kind of crazy. I need to play Redox in my deck. Kirakara is $15 to $17 right now. Man, look, I'm not going to say that that's not a bad pickup. I think that it's a good one, but there's like no doubt in my mind that Kirakara gets reprinted within this year. I'm like 1,000% confident Kirakara gets reprinted in the new legendary rarity collection. But if you want to take that risk and it doesn't get reprinted, that card's going to be bonkers. Fire recovery, if you limit Snake Eyes cards, is clutch. Ooh, Berserker does make a really good point. If the Snake Eyes cards do get hit, Fire Recovery is an excellent card. At the cost of discarding a card from your hand, you get to special summon a fire monster from your graveyard. That can be incredibly clutch when you're trying to bring back one of your monsters in case your opponent gets rid of your play. But even more importantly, that card you discarded could be fuel for Fire Recovery's second effect, allowing you to shuffle 3 fire monsters in to draw a card. And the reason why that's so crazy powerful is because it allows you to dodge cards like your opponent's Hida. Hypothetically, if you use Ash Blossom on your opponent alongside of 2 other fire monsters, being able to put them back into your deck to prevent your opponent from summoning it so they can make their Promethean Princess is huge. And Fire Recovery is what, $1 right now? Players are starting to pick up Fire Recovery because of just that, so I don't want you to miss out on that just in case the ban list does decide to hit the card. Currently, Fenrir's Ultimate Rare are $34 and dropping. But if you are a big chunkus munkus and you don't mind taking the risk, this is your chance to buy Ultimate Rare copies of Fenrir. I wouldn't buy Secrets, I wouldn't buy Ultras, because again, Rarity Collection will print those. But the Ultimate Rare copies are fair game. Now granted, you're gonna have to survive a ban list, and then you're also gonna have to survive the Rarity Collection print. But once that happens, Ultimate Rare copies of Fenrir will be the highest rarity and most sought after rarities alongside a quarter century rare. But that's all that I have for the cards that I think you should buy before they skyrocket in price. I'm going to be including some more cards that I think are secret picks for my Patreon. Again, as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. And of course, if you want to see more amazing videos, you already know what to do. Check out these so I can catch you on the next one.